Yeah, it's going to be great. Please welcome them to the stage.
Thanks very much for having us along tonight. Hopefully you can hear us all right. Just for clarification, by the way, I'm Stuart and that's Louise, just in case anybody's confused.
Yeah, in case the names didn't give it away.
We were actually at loggerheads for weeks and weeks and weeks over what topic we were going to present to you. Now we've decided on a happy medium, haven't we?
Yeah, we thought we wouldn't scare you away with something too gruesome. We're going to tell you about a few mysteries, because everyone loves a good mystery.
Take our Miss Jean Milne, for example. It's October of 1912 and 69-year-old Miss Jean Milne has been found brutally slain in her own home out in Broughty Ferry. The police don't have any clues.
So, of course, they look into her social life and what she got up to with her time. Now, our Miss Jean Milne did like the finer things in life. She also liked a fine young man.
She loved to flash an ankle, did this woman, in a time when you shouldn't be flashing your ankle. But it still left police wondering who could the killer be. Suspicion quickly falls on a Canadian lad called Charles Warner. He's arrested in London, brought up to Dundee for questioning, but he's got an alibi.
Turns out he wasn't even in the country at the time of the murder. There is no way it could be him. But then, who did it?
All the police have got to go on is rumours and speculation at the moment.
Well, there's plenty of them going around. A lot of people saying it was one of her jilted lovers. Some people saying it might have been her nephew. He stood to inherit money.
Could even have been an escaped mental patient. Who knows? But at the end of the day, that's all these things were. There were rumours and speculation. To this day, this case is still unsolved.
We've got a bit of a theory. We think, well, maybe it might have been a local person. That would be, what, 2-3 generations ago?
Removed from any one of you who might be sitting in this room right now. How well do you know the person sitting next to you? Or behind you, for that matter. But we'll leave you with that thought. There's another mystery we want to talk to you about. What the hell happened to all Dundee's money?
I know, you're thinking, when did Dundee have all this money? Well, back in the 1600s. If you can see from this map here, there's a defensive wall going all the way around the city. This wall was great. It not only made us safe, it made us really prosperous.
The reason was we were getting battered at the time and the big boys were coming in, so we decided we were going to build a wall. But times change. Everything falls in and out of fashion, just like royalty and monarchy.
Yeah, we get to the mid-1600s, Oliver Cromwell's taken power, and there's towns like Dundee that will not surrender and bend the knee to him. So he sends up his most brutal, bloodthirsty general, General Monk, to sort us out.
Monk actually gave us 2 chances, and both times we told him to sling his hook. He must have been raging, because after that, for 6 weeks, he sieged this town before he finally gained entry on the 1st of September 1651.
Now, when his army broke through the walls, they slaughtered the townsfolk. The streets literally ran red with the blood of Dundonians. Our governor, well, he was beheaded, and actually these troops garrisoned and occupied the town for 9 years.
When they left, they took everything the town had to offer. Loot, treasure, valuables. It was actually estimated to be about £2 billion in today's money. I'm sure they would have taken that old steeple if they thought they could get it on their ships, but...
So here's where the mystery comes in. What happened to that £2 billion in treasure? It never arrived down in England, and it certainly didn't come back to Dundee. So the story goes, the ships left the harbour with all this treasure on them, and something happened, maybe a fire, maybe a sea swell, that caused all these ships to sink to the bottom of the Tay
estuary. Maybe they just didn't realise how treacherous the River Tay was. I mean, if that was the fault, then tough luck, lads. But all that money, the treasure, is all down in the bottom of the river, so they say.
Problem is, nobody has a clue where it might be. Now, don't get us wrong, some people have tried to find it.
Didn't go getting on your wetsuits anytime soon to go looking for this. Better people than us have been out looking, including Jacques Cousteau's own grandson, and all he found was a fustial cannonball.
Now, you might not have heard one of those 2 stories, but you will have heard about the next person we're going to talk about, Jack the Ripper. Now, some of you might not know, though, there's a Dundee connection with Jack the Ripper, isn't there?
In February of 1889, this lad called William Burry rocks up to the police station on Bell Street to go and report the death of his wife. The problem is she died a week ago. What he did when he found her dead was gutted her, stuffed her in a box and left her in the living room for a week.
Very normal behaviour, isn't it? So the police think, right, well, you may stay here. We're going to go and investigate this. Go out to his apartment, and sure enough, there is a box in there where his wife Ellen has been crammed inside, gutted. She's been decomposing for a whole week. So they decide, let's leave that for the medical examiner and come back to speak to William.
Good idea, but written in chalk outside of the house is, "The Ripper is in here."
That's a bit unusual. He's mentioned the Ripper as well before. Maybe a bit of background check for our William.
Good idea. Now, where do you think William came from? The Whitechapel area of London, right at the height of the Jack the Ripper murders. And guess what's never happened in Whitechapel since William came to Dundee?
Hasn't been another Jack the Ripper murder since then. Well, of course, the gossiping goes into overdrive. We've caught Jack the Ripper in Dundee.
That's all people are actually interested in. Even though he has been arrested and he's now on trial for the murder of his wife, this impartial impartial jury. They were desperate to hear from anybody who knew anything about the Jack the Ripper connection.
I mean, of course, that's what they were going there to find out. They were trying to find out, first of all, who spoke to Ellen while she was here. They were only here for 3 weeks, but there was a newsagent that spoke to her and actually asked her, found out she was from the Whitechapel area, what's going on with Jack the Ripper? What's happening with that?
Ellen was actually alleged to have said to this newsagent, oh, there won't be any murders now, the Ripper's quiet. How would she know that if she didn't have insider information?
These are the kind of things that kept peppering the trial, influencing the jury, but eventually they had to come to a decision. They had a couple of wobbles, didn't they?
Nobody was believing his story that he'd found his wife dead. And to be fair, gutting her and throwing her in a box really doesn't help your case. So he was quickly sentenced to be executed.
Now, they didn't know it at the time, but this was actually about to be the last execution in Dundee. Everyone, of course, was excited to come along and find out about this execution because many people were convinced we're executing Jack the Ripper here.
Everybody believed we were executing Jack the Ripper. The locals themselves believed it. The local police force believed it. In fact, even Scotland Yard believed it enough to send a detective up just before William was executed.
Came up to speak to William because, of course, they wanted to know and to ask him, will you just tell us if you are or you are not Jack the Ripper?
He was alleged to have said to this detective, you've already got me for the murder of my wife. I am telling you guys nothing more. And with that, he was duly executed, taking the secret to his grave.
I mean, that's something that we might never be able to figure out. Nobody's ever going to know answer to this question now, whether he was or he wasn't Jack the Ripper.
So who did kill Miss Jean Milne?
And where is that 2 billion in loot? Because I want to know.
And was William Burry really Jack the Ripper?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know.
It might be something that's never figured out until after we're long dead.
We might be long dead by that point. And on that happy, cheery note, that's how we're going to end our talk. I've been Stuart.
I've been Louise.
Thanks very much and good night.
Thanks for listening.